Welcome back to another edition of Inside the Build.
What? Well, that was awkward. We're James and Michelle. We live in the beautiful Rocky Mountains of British Columbia, Canada, and we are in the process of building a 1,300 square foot custom rammed earth geothermal year-round greenhouse.
And we've been making some pretty good progress since the last video.
Yes,
We are currently sitting up on scaffolding, as you can potentially see.
the super highway.
Super highway, yeah. Just working on finishing off this section of wall over here. In this video, we're going to go over...
What we've been up to for the last 28 days since we put out a video.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah. So in the last video, we didn't have any windows. We didn't have any doors.
Mm-hmm.
The plants weren't moved in here. There's a lot of things. Be sure to check out that video. I'll link it at the end of this video. But let's talk about what James's genius idea was for the windows. Very clever.
We'll see if it's clever. So one of our biggest benefits of the greenhouse is solar gain. So that is to gain the heat from the sun through the polycarbonate, which is here. And then also the south-facing front windows. It's been working extremely well on days of heat. Like we've hit 48 degrees Celsius.
Yeah, inside. Yeah, we've hit 48 degrees on a nice sunny day with that sun coming through the polycarbonate on a day when it's
like 10 degrees Celsius.
10 degrees.
Yeah, so we're gaining like pretty immense amount of heat. And then the rammed earth is also doing a great job of holding that
overnight.
And as we've been paying attention to this since the windows have been installed, it hasn't been fully insulated, hasn't been fully sealed. So we've just been paying attention, and then we ended up installing the windows.
Yeah.
And in order to get the windows in, we did the mutton bars.
You want to talk about the mutton bars?
So I'm just currently putting in the window grids for our windows. It's going to give us that bit of a Brooklyn look. So I've been dry fitting the rough sawn material to give us, it'll give us basically a tic-tac-toe board. I milled up all this material on our sawmill, and it's not the most accurate for size, which is fine because it's going to give it a bit of a rustic look. So I'm pre-cutting it prior to shosugi bonding it. It just makes it a little easier to work with it instead of getting black all over my hands. Also, it's hard to mark the material when it's black. You can see the graphite, but sometimes you lose your mark and you have to measure again. So this is making it a little more efficient to do it this way. Also, I'm making the pieces reasonably tight because once I shosugi bond them, they actually shrink a little, or you lose a little bit off the edges. And because I did this on the sawmill, so the next steps are going to be, I'm going to have to take these pieces out, run them through the table saw to get them all to the right depth. Again, because the mill was not entirely accurate on all my pieces. The bandsaw blade does move a little bit. So we're gonna take these out, run them through the table saw, shosugi bond them, and then I'm actually gonna put a clear coat onto all these pieces as well, just a Varathane. And the reason for that isn't to protect it, it's more we don't want any char flaking off and sticking to the glass and impeding the view. So it's more just to seal it up so all the char doesn't get on our nice, beautiful glass that we're going to be installing next.
We want to talk about and show how we installed the windows. How cool they look.
I'm very pleased.
Yeah, and we also did some finishing tongue and groove work on either side, like behind us here on the wall with the triangle windows, and then behind the camera here too. So talk about the windows. Talk about what happened. So we ordered the glass.
Yeah.
You came up with the idea for the grid on the window, so it kind of gives this really cool Brooklyn look.
Yeah, so it was actually, that was a big part of that idea was my glass guy, Charles. He watched our videos.
Hey, Charles.
He had an idea to do this out of like a steel frame assembly, and then as time moved on, I decided to stick with the wood and do like a shosugi. It fits really nicely. I think it looks really nice.
Yeah.
Overall, as far as functionality and the fact that they're single pane, we will see if that's a good idea or not. They are pretty fogged up this morning.
They are.
But
happen.
I think with the alternative heat, we might find that it's not. Actually, you can see some humidity squirrel on the polycarbonate too. See?
Yeah, I know.
So we do know that we're going to be battling humidity in here, and we might have to figure out a way to do an air exchange through either an ERV. Again, I'm tangent, but this is related to the windows.
If anybody has any ideas for us, let us know. We obviously know that you would need air movement, like in a house, you would have vents below your windows so that it would create some air movement there.
The climate battery 2 running might actually help with this a little bit, and we'll just see if it's just a matter of air movement as well, because there's another couple different fan items that we might want to look at trying.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
or worst case scenario, as time progresses, we'll look at adding a second pane of glass on the inside of the mutton bars to try to keep that humidity level and basically change the dew point. Because that's what's happening. The dew point is basically on the face of the glass, same as the face of the polycarbonate. And it's going to be somewhat unavoidable, but it's the trade-off. We need the solar gain. We need the light to come through for the plants.
We'll see what happens.
We're also working on our beam lights.
Oh yeah. Okay, but wait. I want you to explain to people how you did the windows, because everybody, while we were building this greenhouse, anybody that would come by would always be like, "Ooh, the windows, like that's going to be a lot out of pocket." And I think that what James came up with for aesthetics, design, and functionality really was extremely cost effective, except for the one little blip that we had, which we'll talk about in a second. But you basically came up with this idea to just order single panes of glass, and we had, what did we do? They're not they're single pane and they're coated, but we didn't get,
They're not tempered.
they're not tempered like
No.
we have tempered in our glass greenhouse. So cost wise, it was way better than ordering, like windows that you would have in your house.
Yeah, and I know this building's not going to perform like a house. So that was my thoughts too, was let's go with a single pane. Let's see how it works.
Yeah.
If we were to do like a double pane, dual glazed sealed window, I mean, I might kick myself. We could have integral mutton bars in there too, but they're big pieces of glass. They're basically 6 foot square, the majority of them. Pretty heavy as well.
Yeah.
Travis helped with the install, thank goodness. My brother Travis.
Yeah, they did.
Overall cost effectiveness, we'll see. I mean, it looks brilliant when
It does.
Yeah, it's squares on squares on squares. So
These windows behind us are my favorite. Were they the first ones that you guys put in?
the way the glass was, I think we did.
Yeah, because James drove to Calgary and got the glass.
We got our glass, and
Tell us what happened when you got the glass.
we broke a piece of glass loading it. Unfortunately. No, I don't really want to tell the whole story.
Like where you had to go.
Oh, okay. So went to Calgary to get the glass from a place called the Glass Guild. The guys were amazing, super helpful. Fortunately, we did break one piece while we were loading it, and then they turned around another piece for us really quickly that day, which is kind of unheard of. So made my trip a little longer, but worth waiting to not have to do a second trip. Now, I made this glass rack, and it's not a normal glass rack, right, Charles? My forks aren't quite long enough for the whole thing, so I'm just going to strap the rack to the carriage on Old Blue. It is picked up. You can show underneath, babe. There's clearance. I just don't want to risk. I don't want to risk it toppling.
No kidding.
Makes sense?
Mm-hmm.
So we're just gonna wrap this tight so that it can't teeter-totter forward. what you call Jimmy rigging? Jimmy rigging. Yeah. That'll work good. Now it shouldn't push down at all. Oh yeah, we good. Glass isn't touching, so we'll just move slowly, and we're gonna get this close to the greenhouse, and then we got some work to do still to get them in. But Michelle is what?
Pumped.
Pumped. I love you, babe. I just like the idea of this being. It's like just like all time. It's like a retail window cleaner.
Boomed up Travis first on old blue and installed those cool triangle windows behind us. And it was scary. Thank God they had those
Suction cup.
suction cups.
Yeah.
But there was no mishaps
Hmm.
in installing all of the glass. And yeah, it just made the building complete as far as I was concerned. I mean, the polycarbonate and the roof being finished was one thing, but putting those windows in was really cool. And I mean, it almost didn't look like there was glass in there because it's so flawless.
So we did a diamond coat, crystal coat, or ceramic coating on both sides of the glass, which essentially, what it does is it makes water bead, kind of like Rain-X if you've ever had Rain-X on your windshield, or a ceramic coating on vehicles we're putting on now.
Yeah.
A little bit more money for that. Makes them actually extra slippery to handle.
Yeah.
But the idea is we're not going to be spending our whole lives cleaning
The glass.
Although Michelle's been doing a lot of
I've been doing
cleaning with all the dust I've been making in here still.
Yeah. And all the bugs. There was a lot of bugs. They're starting to die now because it's getting cold, but there was a lot of flies in here. So it's constantly cleaning up that. But yeah, so we got those in. We got our double garden door installed. James did that. And we got our garage overhead door installed, which we had to, I was talking about the last video, I sanded it down and then we painted it and got that installed, and that made a big difference as well for heat because we had just a big insulated tarp hanging there. So it kept it warmer in here as well. And then he finished in the last video, we were showing you how we were just below us here, we have pot lights. So James was drilling out and wiring on all of the pot lights, and they're all lit up and
on dimmers,
but they are the above 90 spectrum. So I have my plants in here. So that's another thing is obviously it is October and we're in Canada, so my garden is done, and I was very busy digging out every single thing from the garden that I possibly could dig out and putting it in pots and bringing it in here to then plant into this greenhouse because I didn't want anything to go to waste. I also have a whole bunch of stuff started inside. But the lights that James chose for the pot lights are 90 plus spectrum.
So it's a color index rating. So
So they actually are helping
Yeah.
the plants.
So 90 and above
Grow.
is what you want for
Artificially.
plants. And then we also have them set at 5,000 Kelvin, which is 5K is also referred to, and it's simulates daylight.
Yes. So there has been a few days where we haven't had sun, and I think those lights are definitely helping. The
It'll-
plants need to get into the ground.
It's going to extend the
the daylight hours.
daylight hours is kind of the idea. Same with these, which I'm really excited to show.
Yes, I know. We've talked about these in all of our last videos about building the greenhouse. So we have the 22-foot beams, and James routed out a strip in each of the beams that goes across the roof slope of the greenhouse underneath the polycarbonate. And he had this fantastic idea of ordering these strip lights, which have the same spectrum as
Mhm.
the pot lights,
They're,
right?
yeah, they're
And again,
5,000
they're basically right underneath where we're going to have our growing beds, and
above.
or sorry, right above where we're going to have our growing beds. So again, extending those daylight hours and supplementing light when we have the gloomy winter days in British Columbia, which a lot of you are probably like, yeah, you have a lot of gloomy days in British Columbia. Yes, we do, but this is going to help. I guarantee it. James installed, well, they're all installed, but he's wired up 3. So there's 10 beams with the lights, and he plugged in and installed and wired up 3. And we turned them on last night. And I swear to God, you could see this place from space. It was so bright and so awesome. We couldn't wait till it got dark last night so that we could turn it on. And it was just like, whoa. It was so awesome. This morning when James came to wake me up, I thought it was light out because the greenhouse was turned on, and it was just the greenhouse was turned on. So literally, I think you could see it from space. But what an awesome idea, because one of my biggest concerns was that depending on the winter, we do go weeks without seeing the sun here. And we've talked about this before on our channel. And it's a big concern for growing in here.
I don't think that's going to be an issue.
But I don't think it's going to be an issue. Like, honestly, these lights are as bright as the sun as far as I'm concerned. So yeah, we'll show you what it looks like at night. And
we're going to be adding in a hydronic system from our wood-fired boiler and the climate battery.
yeah,
So we've got the climate battery, which we did turn on a few times just to cycle
Is it
through
working?
with where the manifold pipes currently are sitting down lower. But we're not capitalizing on the heat at this level. Actually, I think what we should do today is possibly put the thermometer up here
mm-hmm.
and see the difference in temperature just over this 15 feet in height where the other one is. I
Yeah.
bet you.
Yeah, how much hotter it is.
Yeah, I
here.
bet you we're pushing like over 50 Celsius for sure.
Yeah. So the greenhouse, in case you're new here, the greenhouse is, we measured it in the last video, it was 22 feet from the highest peak to the ground. So the idea is, if you go way back in our videos, we installed a climate battery 5 feet. We excavated 5 feet below where the ground is in the greenhouse. And then we want to use, what is it called?
Well, when we backfilled the climate battery, we've got sand in there, which acts as a heat sink.
Yeah.
And then the perimeter of the building is rammed earth with an insulated section sandwiched in. So we didn't insulate underneath, which we may or may not regret.
But the idea is, because we have obviously heat rises, so once we set up the climate battery and we have the air exchange going, that hot air, which we think is going to be at least 50 up here, is going to be stored and then transferred down into the ground. And then when it's cold in the winter, it will release into the greenhouse. So I think that's a wrap for now. Thanks for being patient with us. I know we've been sporadic with our filming, but I mean, there's a lot to do. James has been working in this greenhouse every day, so we're filming everything that we can, and we are so close to building out our garden beds, planting the plants in there, which yeah, we got dirt, which we're going to talk about that. We got a big pile of compost, which we're going to talk about that in our next video, and probably planting out in our next video. Show you more of the lights, how the lights work in our next video. Things are really coming together like finishing touches. So
Just need our heat.
yeah, we need heat. Yeah. Today's going to be a day of solar gain.
Big time.
Yeah, the sun's just starting to come up now. So yeah, drop a comment. Tell us what you think. Please share this video with anyone you think would enjoy this building of this custom greenhouse. There's definitely nothing like it. We're really thrilled, and we're thrilled to have you come along on the journey, and we'll see you in the next.
I'm excited for you to be able to garden in here.
I know. I
I'm
can't
excited
wait
to
to
eat.
get my little
Yeah.
hands.
I'm excited to eat out of here all winter.
I know.
So
I know. Me too. Me too. Okay, we'll see you on the next video. Thanks
thanks
for
for
watching.
watching.